Alright guys, so now we're going to go and start learning how to add objects to create our scene with objects sitting on a floor. So we're going to combine all the things we learned before: how to move objects, how to rotate. We won't use rotate as much, but how to move and scale. So I'll go back to the select box and I'll expand this out. Okay. So now I will start by selecting this. As you can see, selected here, and I'll press, as I'm using on a Mac, I have to use the letter X on my keyboard. So I select it, I press the letter X, and then I can delete my object. Okay, and if you find that you've made a mistake, just do Command and Z and do, okay. So how do we add objects? So I want to add, first I'll go over the different objects there are. We've got a plane, and this is the one that's going to be our floor, and I just want to make it a bit bigger. So I will select the scale tool. I will select inside the scale tool so I can make it bigger proportionally. Yeah, just this rough size is okay for me. And be careful with the cursor, don't move it around, because the cursor is right in the middle here, and but you can if you want, but when you add objects they will appear wherever the cursor is. Okay, so I want to add a new object, so we add, and our objects are a type of mesh, and the one we've been using is a cube. Okay, so as I said, it adds right in the center, and the center is calculated in the center of the actual object, not at the top, not at the bottom, but you can modify that, but the defaults are at the center. I will move it up on the Z-axis, and I can look from the front here. It's sitting right on the top, and you can see here it's almost one, so slightly above, but you can't really see. I'll move it to the side here. Okay, and I have my cube sitting on my floor, slightly to the side. So we want to go and add all the meshes we can here. Let's add a circle. This is 2D, so you won't really see it much. So we'll skip that one. We'll add a UV sphere, which is closest thing like to a ball that we can get. I will move it up, and I'll move it on the other side, and I'll move it in the X. So I've got it here. Alright, I'll go back to select, add a new object. This time it will be an icosphere, sort of like a ball, but it's got less faces, so it's got this this special kind of shape. As you'll see, I can make it a little bit bigger so that you can see. To scale proportionally, I have to select within this white over here, this one. Okay, and then I can go back to the move tool. There are shortcuts for this. Alright, for now I'm just using the UI, the visual interface is one, and we'll get to the shortcuts soon. Alright, and then I will add a new object. This time I'll add a cylinder. Alright, and I have my move tool. Can move it slightly up here, move it to the side. Okay, everything's looking like it's sitting on the floor. And I want to add a new object, a cone. Alright, so it's handy to have the move tool selected, so that as soon as we add the object we can start moving it already. Right, and you can place them any way you want. They just have to be sort of like arranged on the floor, and you can play around with scaling them up if you'd like. I will keep mine about the same size. Send this back to I'm gonna add a mesh again, torus, which is like a donut. So we have our donut. This one for me is slightly above the floor. I can bring it back slightly down again. Can move it. Okay, I like how it's arranged. I want to add another one, another type of mesh. I want to add now a monkey, so I'm not adding those other like grid, because it's like 2D. And then I can move my monkey, and so for the monkey I can rotate it to make it look as though it's sitting naturally on the floor and not defying gravity. And then I'll move it back down. Maybe I can make it a little bit bigger, and then maybe, yeah, just to make it sitting on the floor. Okay, so you see now I have my objects sitting on the floor, and so I'll give you a challenge to sort of get this going for yourself, and just place the objects on the floor however way you want to. And in the next video we'll focus on starting to add colors.